I want to start by saying all praises to Yahweh, Hashem, El Shai, Hashem, Barakah, Kadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of great millstone who rule well, and shalom to the whole full elect.
Shalom.
Right, you got a scripture or anything?
Nah. Let me grab something.
Well, alright, it's 2021, you know, another sit down. I call it, you know, based through the spirit. Positive name this year, the spirit of the year of hastening unto the coming of our Lord. Right, and that's what we're doing. We're hastening to the coming of the Lord. As it tells you in the book of Isaiah, 62nd chapter, basically, hold on to your peace until you make Israel praise in the earth. And that's what we're set up to do. Alright? One of the main things that's come out today, early this morning, was basically how JP Morgan has now made it where all their employees have to be vaccinated before they actually come back to work. So this is setting up a standard, right? This is a move into the banking industry. And it's, you know, if you recall, if you're familiar with the news a couple months back, the IMF basically said to certain countries, I believe within Europe, Finland's coming to mind, I can't remember where in particular it was, or maybe it was somewhere like Bulgaria or something like that. Basically that they're not allowed to get basically whatever agreement they have with IMF is nullified until they start vaccinating their population. I believe the same thing happened with India and different places of that nature. So you can see this is you know, it's a developing thing. Gradualism is at play. Gradually everything's the fabric of this earth is changing, and it's a moving towards the establishment of the beast system. Alright.
You got something you're gonna get?
Yeah. Quickly, and then you can go into your thing. Just to back up everything I said. It says Revelations 12:12. It says, "Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath." Alright, and the devil, alright, Esau, Edom, Zoko white man, headed by the banking elites, alright, because they're being true to their name, the devil's unto their own kind, alright. But it says, "For the devil has come down unto you, having great wrath," alright, because he knoweth that he hath got a short time. And that's really it, you know. Esau knows he got a short time. That's why he's come out with this BS plague basically, and is moving towards establishing this beast system. Yeah, that's it now.
With this, Joel 3:9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. So you had in maybe the last 3-4 days, you've kind of had situation with Russia. So Russia, they met Russia, Putin. Well, same thing. Putin met with Biden, and you know they're meant to have hashed things out, but I think he had like a warning shot fired.
Oh yeah, that was
either
like
warning shots fired by Russia
to the Navy, British Navy or something.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
And as well, you had the thing with the Iranian warships where they're moving towards South America, which this has been developing for like over a week, but they ain't really like said where they're going. It's kind of assumed to be Venezuela, but they're meant to have changed course.
Oh, they changed course, yeah?
Yeah, but not necessarily guaranteed, because they didn't really know where they were heading in the first place. But that was the assumption. So you had that, and I think the situation in Ukraine with Russia, that's still popping off. So these things are still, you know, in the works. There's still you can see the war talks are happening. It's not disappeared. And that's a big sign of the time of the end. When it comes to the wars and rumors of wars, that's something that, especially with Esau, it's been like that's just been a theme throughout his his rule. But then you have what the woes, the three woes, woe, and then the second woe is past, but the third woe cometh quickly, and that's been mainly between Russia and the US, and that kicked off really with the Cold War, but it de-escalated in like the 90s after the fall of the Soviet Union, but it's come back and it's been prevalent because the whole kind of narrative for like for a while, even back in like what was it? I can't remember. It was 2010s, but the guy that got fucking poisoned, Alexei something, some German. What was he? German? Some
Former
Russian.
KGB.
Yeah, like he was a. He what's the word?
Spy.
Yeah, but there's the term for when they flip.
Rogue.
No, not rogue.
Double agent.
Not even double agent. It's just the defected. He defected essentially.
Okay.
Like he was selling shit. I don't know, but he got fucking whacked on British soil. So it's like there's been incidents and it's been there in the background, but it's now a point where the boots on the ground and I'll go back into Joel, but I'll read this as well. Matthew 24:6, and ye shall hear of wars and rumours of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There shall be famines, pestilence, and earthquakes in diverse places. Yeah, so that war and rumours of wars, those things is sign of the times, and it's been picking up because that Third World War, that's what's really been brewing. Because you kind of had like essentially the vast majority of all the conflicts that have popped off after World War II have just been like power plays between like proxy wars and like not really indirect skirmishes between Russia and the US. And it's really been about Russian interest versus US interest, and it's now Russia's reaching a point of prominence where they're challenging and protecting, being a guard, like it says in Ezekiel 38, being a guard onto Syria, Iran, places like that. And America's showing its arse, basically. America's like the leg's been made bare, and it's evident that they're losing their shine, man. That shine's been disappearing. And everyone's like looking like, okay, who can come up and take over? That's why, yeah.
You go on?
No.
Second Ezra 16 and 17. Woe is me. Woe is me. Woe is me. Who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Yeah, what the beginning of evils. What shall I do when they come? And that's what we've had a taste of. At the start of the lockdown, that's when people are like, oh shit's getting real. There were shortages of all kinds of shit. The food, what is it? Not even pipeline. Maybe, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. But basically, the food being able to get to people, get into warehouses, and get from warehouses to people. All of those things were breaking down because why? There'd been people realized, oh shit's going peak, and went out and bought everything. And then as well, it's like everything was locking down. It was unprecedented. People were fucked up in the spirit. That's just a drop of when you go into the prophecies of what's going to be going down. Because even like I read in Matthew, it says it's the beginning of sorrows. Well, I didn't read that verse. That was a verse after. It says these are the beginning of sorrows. So there's worse things to come. And that's what people are. It's going to be overwhelming, man. People are going to be messed up in the spirit. They're going to be getting fucked up because all that's going to be going down. Just like with now, everyone now is mentally a breaking point. In the UK, it's like if this shit don't reopen,
people are gonna fucking lose their mind, man. If they had to lock up the pubs and restaurants and museums and all this shit, people are gonna start going nutty, man. Because they're like, for them, the year essentially in and out of being able to do shit. They without all the entertainment there, they've lost it, man. There's no way they're gonna survive. The bread and circus is core to their existence, on the planet Earth, man. That's all people have been invested in. So they're not gonna be able to deal with it. It's gonna be messed up. That's why really when you talk to people that are kind of aware, them thinking of even Iran having nuclear weapons, these guys start getting terrified. They're like, nah, that's fucked up, man. I don't even know, like, the country like that with nuclear weapons. I'm like, bro, people are messed up, man. And these things are in prophecy, so it's like a lot of these things that are gonna go down. For brothers, it's in our minds. It's something we already know. We're visualizing. We're meditating on when these things go down. How it's gonna be when we're watching like movies or TV shows or whatever. They go into that post-apocalyptic end of days scenarios. Then it's like, hey, we're just like, okay, so we're in the mindset where it's like these are things that these things are gonna go down. We're like, okay, yeah, cool. We're preparing ourselves for what's gonna go down, and it's the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua as well. These people in the world aren't gonna be able to hack it, man. They're gonna be caught slipping, and they're gonna crumble completely. That's why just like with the vaccine, everyone's running and jumping to get. They said they made it in the UK now. They made it available to like pretty much everyone over 18. So everyone I know, every Tom, Dick and Harry has been like, oh yeah, jumping to get their second shots. Because why? They're thinking about going back to normality, being able to enjoy themselves like they were. Or their simple bread and circus lifestyles.
But they don't even know they're being led down a dark and dreary road.
Yeah, because it's like, even if you get that, that's not gonna save you from the things to come. Same for with the mark. It's like those guys that get the mark, they're still gonna be judged. What is it? They'll be tormented in the lake of fire, man. Before the sight of the holy angels, they're gonna be messed up. There's what they're looking for doesn't exist. The only way out is basically the Lord having mercy on you, man. Which applies to the elect, a portion of the elect, because some of the elect are gonna have their heads removed for the witness of Yahweh. Basically gonna have to ride out for this word, man, and be put to death because of it.
Martyrdom.
Yeah.
I have an article to back up everything you said. It's from RT. It reads, nearly half of Russians now back mandatory CV19 vaccination, and 61% of those yet to get the jab now planning to do so, polls say. Alright, so I'm going to just run through this very quickly. New rules requiring vaccination of workers across several Russian regions have stoked controversy in recent days as the country deals with a rise in new CV19 infections. However, polls now say the measures may be working. Research by the Russian Center of the Study of Public Opinion, a state-backed pollster seen by Moscow Daily RBK on Wednesday, showed that around 49% of 1,600 respondents across the country took a positive view of the decision by officials in Moscow, while 30% were more negative. Companies operating in a number of sectors in the Russian capital, such as hospitality, transport and leisure, will have to ensure 60% of their workforce is vaccinated or else face hefty fines. So that's how it starts. A majority of their workforce. And then obviously it leaves for what? If it's still prevalent amongst them, then it's the remaining 40% or whatever it is needs to, get vaccinated as well. Authorities have confirmed that staff can be suspended without pay if they refuse doses, in order to meet quotas. The poll found that while the measures imposed in Moscow enjoyed broad support, in other areas there was actually less support within the city. Another study which made headlines on Wednesday appeared to show that the new measures were driving an increase in those seeking appointments for a jab. The research conducted by sociologists at Synergy University and seen by RIA Novosti found that 70% of respondents had yet been vaccinated. of them, over 60% said that they would soon have their first dose. Those signing up often cited restrictions on unvaccinated people. This is the reason why I'm reading this article, alright, as a rationale behind their decision. Some 35% said that they were ready to be vaccinated in order to keep their jobs, compared to 30% it was down to health reasons alone. Another 16% said, so that's more than, they ain't thinking about their health. They're actually thinking about being able to engage in society more than anything, alright? So it shows you that, you know, this thing it's been used as a great guise to, you know, circumvent the minds of the people to fall in line, basically. Another 16% said they would do it in order to help scrap rules requiring wearing of masks as soon as possible, while 12% wanted to be able to travel freely. So the majority of people participating in it, like the brother was saying, is because they want their lives to go back to normal, right? On Tuesday, Moscow authorities announced that only vaccinated people, as well as those that have had the virus recently, would be able to freely enter bars, cafes, and restaurants in the city. Those eligible will be able to scan a QR code to prove that they have antibodies, while those that are not eligible will have taken PCR tests within the past 3 days. So it's either you've either been tested, or you have a quick QR code, which is, you know, basically the forerunner of the MOB, alright, and you can see where the tide is moving. So this is in Russia, but they're saying this is a global. We're in a time of globalization, alright. So this is gonna come to the whole world. That's the plan. You got something?
Yeah, back in Joel 3. Joel 3 and 10 says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Most High. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Yeah, so this is what it's culminating into, man. This these little conflicts, these disagreements, it's escalating to a point where it's gonna be a mass global conflict, man. It's gonna be a third world war, which is something that's always where, especially when you deal with fiction, this is something that's always been mentioned, man. And it's been pushed into the minds of the people heavily, man. That's why even start of 2020, man, people were like memeing up when the situation with Iran escalated, about how World War III draft, all these things. You know, people are making light of it, but these things are gonna come, and that's these vibrations get pushed out to prepare people for it. Because it's imagine even with the vaccine certificate or passport, the QR codes, those were mentioned like April, May, super early in what you call it. Those were mentioned super early after after the lockdown started. And they said, oh no, it's not going to be looked at seriously. There's no way this is going to be taken up. There's blah blah blah. No, we're not thinking about it. And then months later it just comes up. It's like, oh, maybe it's possible. We got to at least think about it. And it's like, okay, we're gonna establish it. It's all of it, like the brother said, is gradualism, where they slowly push things out onto people through the process of time. And that's the same thing. The escalation of wars happening through the process of time. The monetary system as well, that shake up. You had I think the main one's been China with the crypto one, but you've had Russia as well looking at crypto ruble, and recently you had the state of Israel as well. So they're looking to do crypto. Well, they've done research and tested a crypto shekel. So all that digitization of the currency is coming up as well. And then what you've essentially had over the last year is pretty much every economy just pumping out loads of money, which is gonna destabilize the economy on a global scale. It's all global anyway. As soon as like America tanks or one portion of it tanks, everyone else is gonna feel the burn. And you've had the stock markets become a fucking circus as well since like the start of like even before, like from 2020 early January, it was hitting all-time highs. Then when the lockdown started, it dipped a bit, but then it started hitting all-time highs again because everyone that was getting their free money was dashing it. A lot of people were just dashing it on stocks, and that's why you've had the delayed hyperinflation as well, which is starting to kick in. All the various food prices, cotton as well, a bunch of other things. The prices are going to start escalating and skyrocketing, and people are unprepared. People aren't even like these things. People stopped watching the news like 9 months ago. So they're not aware, man. These things they're just gonna go to the supermarket and be like, why the fuck has the price of corn gone up? Why has the price of this gone up? Or why is this not available? And it's they're gonna be caught out there. It says put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Verse 13. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Get you down, for the press is full, the fat overflow, for their wickedness is great. And that's, the wickedness is also been increasing as well. That's something that's not allowed. When the lockdown started, when this this pandemic started, this whole circumstance, people weren't thinking, oh, is this maybe a judgment? Maybe all this is happening in society is a judgment for how we're moving. That's not been an aspect, and that's what why this thing's not gonna let up or slow up. There's brothers have been out, cursing this place out, prophesying of its end, man. The word's gone out, so it's all now it's all the the words have got to be fulfilled, man. And it's gonna be a surprise, man. The wickedness, people are firm and assured in their wickedness, man. You go into anyone when you dealing with, whether you're dealing with LGBT, dealing with female empowerment, dealing with just Esau's general way of life, and how he gained his position at the top, and put Jake on the bottom, through the matter of getting there. All these things, no one's thinking about being held to account. And all that's really been tried is like, okay, just a little recompense, a few shekels being thrown, a few weightless shekels, man. They ain't gonna please Yahweh Hashem Yahshai. He's about judgment, and that's it's already popping off.
I got a precept quickly. It's the book of 2nd Ezra 16 and 19. It says, "Behold, famine, plague, and tribulation, and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Behold, victuals shall be good, so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion." So the Lord has got duality popping off. Where you have these great scourges being sent upon the earth for amendment, you also have the victuals, the day-to-day bits and pieces that are food and things or anything of that nature. You have that in more abundance, or you have certain things in more abundance that people will not be they will basically not be looking to the scourges, basically. So the Lord's putting them through an okie doke. And it's the same thing that was said in the book of Peter about since the fathers fell asleep, word, basically nothing getting happened.
Things have continued as they were before.
Yeah.
And that's really what everyone's put their head down they put their head in the sand, cover their ears, going la 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 la, and basically pretending like there's gonna be no permanent effects.
Mm-hmm.
People are really trying not to like even with like the furlough scheme where taxes are gonna go up or the cost of a bunch of shit is gonna go up. There's a wide variety of ways that people are gonna be getting shafted just based on what we've seen so far. But no one's really, like I said, no one watches the news. No one's paying attention to it. People don't really are trying their best not to care. They're thinking about going on holiday. They're thinking about being able to go see their family they've not seen in a couple months. They're thinking about their newborn lockdown baby that they just had, that they want to do a celebration for, whatever. They're thinking about getting married, because now you can do outdoor marriages with like more than 25 people, whatever the fuck, from next month. There's all these different things. This is what people are thinking about, man. They're thinking about having a real good time, going out, enjoying themselves, and maximizing, their enjoyment they can get from their vessel, man. And that's why it's gonna be a shock. Let me read this. So the last verse, Joel 3:14. Multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of Yahweh is near in the valley of decision. Yeah, multitudes in the valley. The amount of people that are gonna be judged. It's gonna be legendary. It's gonna be on a scale that's not been seen before, and people are really not. Like the present day, the mindset of the people is far from pain, tribulation, hardship. People are really trying to maximize ease and peace. That's the mindset they've been in. But what they don't know is what's getting ready to happen. I mean, read this, Jeremiah 16:2. It says, thou shalt not take thee a wife, neither shalt thou have sons or daughter in this place. For thus saith the Most High, concerning the sons and concerning the daughters that are born in this place, and concerning their mothers that bear them, and concerning their fathers that begat them in this land. They shall die of grievous deaths, they shall not be lamented, neither shall they be buried, but they shall be as dung upon the face of the earth, and they shall be consumed by the sword and by famine. And their carcasses shall be meat for the fowls of heaven and for the beasts of the earth. Yeah, so this is a level of judgment we're dealing with, and that's how when the Lord decides to get busy, it's open season. That's just as what Jake experienced, man. When you do how Jake was absolutely annihilated over here in America, in the New World, as they called it. The Northern Kingdom was over there. Them guys, those Hispaniola, them guys got exterminated, man. They went extinct. Like it was a sore judgment, man. Esau was that whipping stick that was used by the Most High to absolutely brutalize and destroy Jake. And they were just fucked over. And they've basically been like a in a destroyed state since. That's how it's been a perpetually destroyed state. Same for the Southern Kingdom as well. So-called Negroes coming from the West Coast, from parts of Europe as well, getting dragged over to the States, put into hardcore bondage. They've been in that destroyed state where their identity has been destroyed. They've not even been Hebrews for the longest. So then, as such, it's it's a wrap, man. When that's what was done to Israel, who the Most High was. That's his own people. He's the level of destruction is brought to them. It's gonna be the Lord hates the wicked, man. He's angry with the wicked every day. So then how much more so is the people that have been out here perpetuating this madness, destroying these people, gonna get? They're gonna get worse. That's where it's gonna be on a scale. That's you go to the book of Exodus. You go to the tribes in Egypt. It was like in Egypt it was raw. In Egypt they were getting fucked up. But it's gonna be on a scale where it'll blow that out of the water. And that's it. No one's trying to think about that. But regardless with these things, whether you're trying to address it, whether you're trying to deal with it or not, it's gonna go down. You read this as well, Revelation 11:14. The second war is past, and behold, the third war comes quickly. Yeah, second war is past. Second World War. People there's still fresh documentaries getting made about World War II to this day. There's all kinds of shit going down. They're going into the intricacies of how, like, when you think about the scale of what was going down, it was like there was all kinds of battles, all kinds of people got fucked up, hundreds of millions of people got annihilated. Same for World War One as well. People were getting messed up and destroyed on a mass scale in various countries all over the world, man. People were getting involved, and that's the thing. Those two mass scale battles, then next one's looking to come. It's not that's the thing is everyone now is in a mindset where they're thinking, because everything's globalized, all these economies interlinked. Everyone's relying on someone else for product. Like China doesn't want war with the the US, because the US buys their shit. The US don't want war with China because China makes their shit, and then XYZ don't want war with XYZ because they all have resources and things that they sell each other. But that's the thing is what you're not accounting for when these guys are thinking about this. You're not accounting for the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Because first of all, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is a man of war, and again he's gonna put the spirit on these people for these things to go down. That's why you had a lot of with guys mentioning about the so-called UFOs, or was it UAPs? I think they got a few other terms for it as well. But basically, the chariots of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, which had the angels in them. They said there's been multiple times where they've basically, been around nuclear facilities and activated certain parts of nuclear facilities, which is something you had mentioned way back. I can't remember what the documentary was, but someone in the US military mentioned it way back on a documentary. I remember watching it with the brothers. And that's something again that was mentioned in one of the newer files that was getting released. One of the guys was talking on about that. So it's like these things. It's like the Lord can basically is in the midst, man. Like it says in Revelation. Revelation 7:1. And after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on nor on the sea, nor on any tree. So the 4 winds are being held; they're being restrained. That destruction is being held back from from impacting upon the world. It's something that's being stopped. It's not even like it needs to be initiated. It's something that's being delayed, and that's something that's being hastened as well. Because it's like, as far as for these days, it says they're going to be shorted for the elect's sake. So that's and with Esau, it says what he's the brother read it earlier. He's moving with great wrath because you have but a short time. So these things are going to come, and they're going to come quick. Even with the destruction of America, it's going to be 1 hour. In 1 hour, it's going to pop off like that. And this is why it's like it's hilarious, man. Like when you deal with people in the world, and that's the thing is you can go read. No one reads fucking newspapers. You can go online and read the news or whatever, and then you can see like there's certain little skirmishes that happen, little escalations are happening, but people put them far off. But this ain't the truth. Hey, the truth ain't it's gonna catch you out in the end, man. You got anything?
Yeah. Joel 3:13. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come and get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. That's the point. The destruction is ready, man. And really, when you read into, you can go into Revelation's 14th chapter. Actually, let me read that, because it expounds upon it even more. Basically, this destruction is ready, it's ripe for the taking, basically. So this is the book of Revelations 14 and 14 on down. And it reads, "And I looked and behold a white cloud, which represents the chariots of Israel, which Esau calls UFOs, UAPs, etc. And upon the cloud one sat like unto the Son of Man." Alright, so this is our Lord Yahushua in his chariot. Alright, having on his head a golden crown and in his hand a sharp sickle. Alright, and this account is spoken of on many occasions in different ways, but it's alluding to the same thing, coming with power and a wrath to destroy all the nations. And another angel came out of the temple crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud, "Thrust in thy sickle and reap, for the time is come for thee to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe." So the measure, right, the threshold has basically been met, as the Lord, the Heavenly Father, spoke about in the book of 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. "I will no longer hold my tongue concerning the things that the wicked commit upon the earth," loosely paraphrasing. Alright? So reading on, it says, "For the time is come for thee to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. And he that sat on the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped. And another angel came out of the temple which is in heaven, he also having a sharp sickle. And another angel came out from the altar which had power over fire, and cried with a loud voice to him that had the sharp sickle, saying, Thrust in thy sharp sickle, and gather the clusters of the vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe." Alright? "And the angel thrust in his sickle into the earth, and gathered the vine of the earth, and cast it into a great winepress of the wrath of the Most High. And the winepress was trodden without the city, and blood came out of the winepress, even unto the horse bridles, by the space of 1,600 furlongs." So that's the destruction, man. And that's what our Lord Yahushua is going to bring. And we read another precept to back up that point. It's the book of Isaiah 66, I believe. Nope. 60 and 1. Or 63, sorry. And 1. "Who is this that cometh from Edom with thy garments from Bozrah?" Alright? This Edom, alright, Bozrah is basically one and the same. But it's not talking about literally as it tells you in Israel, Jerusalem's a people before it's a place. Alright? Basically a place being established and known by a name is really deemed by the people. So it's the same with dealing with Esau, Edom. Wherever they go, alright, Bozrah being one of the chief cities, that's where they are basically. It's Bozrah. So over there in the land of America, over here in Europe, is basically what? Bozrah. Okay? This that is glorious in his apparel, travelling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Therefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the winefat. I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury." Alright? And that's the winepress. That's what it's talking about. That's the gathering of the grapes. It's those that are basically ripe for destruction. Alright? As it tells you, when you read in Revelations 14 and 4, it tells you, Revelations 14 and 9, it tells you about those that have the mark and the destruction. It's the same thing, them being in the winepress. Alright? "For I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. For the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. And I looked, and there was none to help, and I wondered that there was none to uphold. Therefore mine own arm brought salvation unto me, and my fury upheld me. And I will tread down the people in mine anger, and make them drunk in my fury, and I will bring down their strength to the earth." That's the point. You got something?
Ecclesiastes 12:1. Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few, and those that look out the windows be darkened, and the doors shall be shut in the street. Yeah, this like all the machine of business, because that's really what America is that merchant city, and it's really that monetary angle. That's all that Esau's kingdom runs off, man. That business, because it's even in what is it, Ezekiel 28. It says what by thy riches, by thy wisdom thou hast gotten the riches. So that riches, that monetary system. Yeah, that riches, that monetary system. That's a big aspect of how Esau operates on planet Earth. So with that, it's that's part of his strength, and that's why it's in James it says as well. It's your gold and silver is cankered. It's basically not going to save you from your destruction. Because that's what's now you've had it. You've got the race going on between Jeff Bezos and Richard Branson. Who's going to get into space first? Selling tickets on like their space flights and whatnot, going up to either International Space Station or maybe just the atmosphere. I can't remember exactly which one it was. But that's those guys are what they're among them billionaires, but it's really for what? For those super elite, man. For those guys at the top, those elite banking families, those guys that have like money. Is on a level where it can't even be be thought about because it's so horrendous, man. And these guys, that's part of their escape. Digging into hell. Being in the depths of the ocean, being amongst the heavens as well. These are things that the elites are thinking of doing, because they're looking to get the fuck out of them times, man. But it's like everyone else, they're caught in the wheel of Esau's monetary system, man. They're out here grinding for their jobs, like the brother read in the article earlier. They're looking to jump in Russia. They're looking to jump on the Maxine because it's like, well, do you want to continue to have your job? Do you want to continue to operate within the society? And that's really what it's it's coming down to. And anyway, we'll have to, we know where it's gonna end up, where everything, the mark's gonna end up being mandatory. And more likely than not as well, this Maxine's is gonna be mandatory. It's gonna, because that's just where everything's moving in society. Because it's even with here in the UK, what's his name? Boris pushed back the opening of the
everything basically.
It's fucking everything. The loosening of all restrictions, he pushed it back by like a month because of one of the variants, and there's basically like, and even with winter, they said they're anticipating like when winter comes that there's going to be another big push, booster shots and whatnot as well. Around then, so it's just a new normal. Like that's what everyone's saying. It's a new, basically bringing in a whole different system of how people just expect to operate on planet Earth, and that's what that's the aim, been the aim from the jump. Because when this thing kicked off, it was just kind of like, oh really, like this is the thing that you're gonna use to push in that this much, but it's run, and it's something that's perpetuating. Self-perpetuating. Just leave it and the shit can just run. Doesn't even matter what's actually happening. But that's like it's been set. The blueprint's there. They can run with it. Okay. Actually, Nah. So let me read this. Matthew 24 and 37. Let me start 36. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark. So this is, once again, the same thing going back. It's where you have all that bliss and celebration and distraction. That's what people are aiming for. But that's how people are looking to enjoy their lives, man. That's why it's like with the marriage thing. It's like, I mean, most places they said they're like booked out, like for the summer. It's like summertime. It was meant to be July, but now it was meant to be in June. It will start, but now it's going to be July. You're gonna have a lot of people getting married. A lot of people basically trying to get back, trying to have holidays, trying to enjoy themselves, like they were meant to last year, and they didn't really get the opportunity.
Yeah.
Because that's well, go on.
No, finish your point.
That's what the energy they've always had, man. That's the only way they've been able to really survive in this place is like, because here is hell, and they're also just wage slaves. They're also in a rat race, but they're what? They're little releases, their little weekend, their little Friday nights. You know, their holidays, a little trip to Marbella, trip to Ibiza. That's been what kept them going. So they're gonna claw that shit back. What are you gonna say?
I can't remember. I've got a precept. Revelation 13 and 14. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to